do a review for you guys on a book who I actually met this author a few months ago. Actually, it was last year, now that I think about it. And so I'm going to review a book by Sara J. Benincasa, or Sara Benincasa to the book world. She has written a few that have not been really talked about on BookTube lately. So I met her last year around May or June in school because my teacher, she went to school with her. She actually went to my high school and she graduated my high school. And then she therefore went off to college and got a degree in English like I'm going to do. So my teacher, she held a little Q&A with other teachers and pretty much let the students ask questions and let it not be awkward. So, and obviously what drew me to her was the fact that she was wearing a Doctor Who earrings. Like I'm wearing my Doctor Who TARDIS sweatshirt. She's wearing Doctor Who earrings, and so I asked her a question pretty much saying, like, first of all, I like your earrings. I'm a Doctor Who fan. And she's like, thank you, I do it to call out to my inner nerds or whatever. And then I'm like, so what inspires you to be a writer? Blah, 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 blah. And then teacher, set up this thing after school in tutorial where you can actually like talk to her and stuff, and she was really nice. And I told her like, hey, I run a book channel and I was wondering if I could do a review of one of your books. And she's like, sure, you can do it of the book Great if you want. And I'm like, okay, thank you. I am going to review, or well, no, I'm going to share another story with you and what the heck is going on. So I am going to tell you a story. Now, my dad works at a car dealership where I live, and so he sold a lot of cars to a lot of different people, and so what ended up happening was he sold a car to Sarah's mom, and he didn't know who she was. Like, I kind of said to him, like, yeah, I met an author in school, blah, 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 and he's like, oh, that's cool, what's her name? And then, like, that kind of was the conversation. And then, oh, I sold this car to this woman whose daughter's an author, and she got an English degree, and now she's writing books, and she's a comedian. And I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds all too familiar. Why does this sound familiar? And then I was like, if he's talking about Sara Benincasa, I'm gonna freak out. And then it ends up it was, and so he sold her mom a car, and in return, her mom got copies of her books, of her daughter's books signed, and she gave them to my dad. And so one of them was Great, and the other one is Agorafabulous. And so pretty much I'm going to review Great because that's what I told Sarah I'd do, and I actually did read this. It was a good book, so I'm going to review it anyway for you. And Sarah, if you're watching, thank you for the advice. I love it so much. And get on to the book review, shall we? So, Great is a retelling of The Great Gatsby, and it's pretty much in modern times, so it's like a modern retelling of The Great Gatsby. And so it follows a girl named Naomi Rai, and her mom is a famous bakery chef thing, and she's going global. And so what happens is her parents are divorced, so she has to go to her mom's house during the summer, and she lives in like the Hamptons in New York. And so what happens is she ends up meeting these three main characters who is Delilah, who is the daughter of a senator, and it's the senator's wife that Naomi's mom is trying to suck up to so she can actually get more acknowledgement from the community. And then there's Teddy, who is her boyfriend, who was a child actor. And then there was Jeff, who is Teddy's best friend, and his dad runs some record company. So we follow them, and they in their like sort of adventures with like the high life and all that stuff. And then we meet Jacinta, and she pretty much is a fashion blogger who has a very, very mysterious past that no one knows about except for her. And so pretty much she moves in next door to Naomi and her mom, and she throws these really extravagant parties. Like, one of the parties had a Ferris wheel and everything. So basically, that's how they all meet. And so apparently we find out that Janicita and Delilah, they have known each other. They knew each other when they were little, but Janicita went by a different name, so that's part of her mysterious past. And so pretty much it has some LGBTQ figures in it. And we figure out that Teddy, who is the boyfriend of Delilah, remember that, he's cheating on her with a waitress from this really high life type of restaurant. And all the while, Delilah doesn't know this, but like their relationship is sort of having problems anyway. So what happens is that they end up like they're straying, but they're not straying because Delilah ends up like falling in love with Janicita, and like that just kind of creates the cutest relationship ever, by the way. All the while, Teddy doesn't know that this is happening until he figures it out himself, and then all this stuff happens that leads to the end of that relationship, to Janicita and Delilah's relationship, because a lot of things happen. We follow Naomi through like the high life, and she has had this hate towards it her whole entire life, and then this one summer she decides not to hate it, and she like kind of reinvents herself, or she's reinvented as a person, because originally her mom was just like, oh, you wear those graphic tees, you're disgracing my high life. I'm like, let her be herself and be a mom, like what? And then the mom ends up influencing differences in Naomi. So this book, I really did enjoy it. I think I was like a little not confused, because I was never confused in this book, but I was just like a little, hadn't read The Great Gatsby before, but I kind of knew what the similarities were in the story, because of, I just kind of had this idea like, okay, well, maybe this happened in The Great Gatsby and she's trying to parallel it to Great. So that kind of made me want to read The Great Gatsby even more, and I don't have it with me. I don't even have it. So this book, I really did love it, and so I loved it so much. Really, I did. I was in the mood for some sort of novel like this, because everybody around me was like in a lovey-dovey mood, and I was like, can you not? Please. And then this one kind of pulled me out of it, along with this book. So yeah, I just was really in the mood to read something like this, and it made me feel really, really good. So now I have to read Agorafabulous, which, Agorafabulous Dispatches from My Bedroom, and it's pretty much about a college student who doesn't like to leave her room. Sounds like me, actually. And then, like, it just talks about, like, different lifestyles, I guess. And so, I am going to read these, or I read this one. What am I talking about? I'm going to try to read this while I'm on break, because I have time. And so, I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to spoil anything for any of you who hasn't read it. Like, I kind of said things that happened and all of that stuff. But I really did enjoy it. I gave it pretty much, I think, a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Like, it was up there. And I was so glad to meet her, because she kind of gave me the motivation to start writing something that maybe could become a book, that could become a story that somebody will love. Or just put the idea in my head to, do it. And, I really did enjoy it. And that was my review on Great by Sara J. Benincasa, or Sara Benincasa. Ooh. I really did like this. And she does have a new book out. It's called DC Trip, and it's pretty much like, it's young adult, but it's more of like an adult-ish thing, because it has some non-young adult things that we don't want. But anyway, I really did enjoy Great by Sara Benincasa. And Sarah, if you're watching this, thank you so much for inspiring me and for writing great. I loved it so much, and I hope that we can meet again soon, because our meeting was awesome, and you were the first author that I'd actually read or met in person, so thank you so much for that. And so to all of you guys, I'm not talking, well, Sarah, I could talk to you too, but anyway, thanks for watching. Happy New Year. It's 2016, and I'll see you guys later with another video. Bye!